Hello, everyone. Kim Victoria here with kind of a little mess. This is for Scraptember. I'm going to do some experimenting today with some scrap pieces of paper. This is some newsprint packaging paper. I'm going to use that a little bit. I've got some coffee dyed paper that is 8.5 by 14, and I have some acrylic paint. So I think I might do something with ink as well. So I'm going to make some painted papers. So what I wanted to do for painted papers is I wanted to revisit my junk drawer, as I recently made some other painted papers, but yeah, I've only got a couple pieces left of that. I did make some transfer painted papers, which I will link everything down in the description box, but these were all acrylic transfer painted papers. I did a bunch of those. Um, yeah, but I really want to add this video to Art Play, that playlist on my YouTube channel. So I hope you'll stick around and let's see what we can come up with. Okay, well, I've put out some acrylic paint. And I have something in mind, and I thought, well, why not make a video? So there's a couple of things that I wanted to try. So I've got myself a rag here, but and I've got some water in a cottage cheese tub, and that's all I need. That is all I need. So what I was thinking is, I have all these scraps, and I'm going to put these big ones aside. I have all these scraps. Well, the scraps could be more than something that goes into or onto a page. Scraps could be used in other ways. So that's what I was thinking, is how can I use scraps in other ways? So I was thinking I'm going to go with something sort of along the lines of a subtle difference in the paper color. Just similar, but a little bit different. So I'm just kind of mixing up something that's similar colors. Not a whole lot of difference. I wanted to play with this idea of using scraps as a mask. So I thought that might be interesting to try that out, to use scraps as a mask. Now, the nice thing about acrylic paint on paper is that it will help reinforce the paper. Oh, I should leave that there and put a different one on. So what I'm going for here is, let's get all the way at the top there. Oh, I don't have to. See, that's the whole thing. We don't have to, we can have some shorter. So that would be good. Let's leave that one there and bring that one down. Of course, I'm going to get painted fingers, just a little bit. I don't want to get too much painted fingers, but a little bit would be okay. This can be messy. But I wanted to try this because it sort of has, I was visualizing this as kind of a mid-century modern kind of look. You know what I mean? So I only adding a teeny little bit of paint. I don't want to get too warped. The paper's gonna warp. I mean, that's not a problem. I'm gonna use this for collage and that sort of thing. I just want it to be random and tilt this paces in different directions. I also want to make them various heights. And we need one more. Whoop. We need one more over here. Let's do that one. Let's do that one really short. I'm not sure I finished my sentence. So one of the things about acrylic paint on lightweight papers, which this is just printer paper that I'm working on, is that the paint itself will help strengthen the paper, which can be a good thing. I need another short one over here. This is just inexpensive acrylic paint, nothing really special. Ooh, got a little dark there. Let's see. That's okay. It can be a little darker. That's all right. The hard part's getting it to hold still. All right, that's fine. And get back here with the little guy, the skinny one. I want to do more, so I just want to get something to start with here. This is very freeing. You know, there's no rules here. There's no requirements per se. This is very, very freeing, very random. You can't do this wrong, right? There is no wrong here. We love that kind of play. And it's very important to play sometimes. So this is a good way to play, is to use these different shapes and just paint on paper. Now should make that one a little shorter. I'm looking at these various heights. I don't want this the same height as that, so that's why I'm moving it. I'm also not looking for perfectly even coverage, as you can tell. Okay. I like how that's starting. As I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking forward to collage, something that I can use in collage, but it's already got something going on. I might just tear off a strip of 3 of these and include it in a collage. It could be very interesting. So let's see. I don't necessarily need to let that dry. What do I want? Oh, that's right. I'm going to use my brush to just kind of thin out a little of this dark gray. And I think I'll just put a little bit of red in it, warm it up a bit. It's a dull color, but that's okay. You're going to think about the collage you're going to do later. And I'm going to use this. This is a very stiff sort of corrugated cardboard. And the nice thing is I can fold it like that, so I get to control how much. See, I just have a little bit there. And I was thinking, because it's got those lines and everything. Yeah, I like that. Now, the other thing that this could be used for, I think I'm going to stop there for the moment. The other thing this could be used for is this could be a page in a journal. See, the other side's going to be fine. It's going to be something that can be written on. So it's like creating your own painted papers that you can use in a journal. These spaces are dry, so this could be written on. Wouldn't that be fun if you had that in a journal and that could be written in? That would be really cool. And with the right kind of pen, you could certainly write on acrylic paint. I haven't tried that, so I'll have to try that. Anyway, I think that one is done. Let me get started on something else. Okay, I'm going to go back to scraps. Well, this is kind of a mess, but that's okay. Let's do one of these card things. Now, there's a couple different ways, of course. You know, if you've done this, you know what I'm talking about. There's the swiping. You can also use the card. You can also use the card to push the paint off, whether you're using a palette knife or a brush. I'm just happen to be using the brush at the moment. So vice versa, you can use the brush to push it off the card, or you can use the card to push it off the brush. So let's see, I want to create some lines. I'm just wiping the card off. And I'll let that dry. So does this need any? This needs some circles. I think I'll make a little bit of a gray. It's going to be a reddish gray since there's all that red there. Yeah, well, that's nice. That's a nice color. So I think I'll go with a small circle. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for randomness. I'm looking for doing my best to not line things up too much or create, I don't know, just too many that are samey. I'm looking for variety in the distribution, shall I put it that way? And then make sure I get some off the edge, because that makes the whole page useful, as if some are completely off the edge and at different distances to each other. And I'm twisting it a little bit because that helps put the paint down. It pushes it into the paper. So then you just kind of look for, I kind of like it to be fairly dense, so it's a little more open here. So I'm going like, okay, I think I can add just a little teeny bit more here. Not too much, really. It needed that one. Just a daub in the corner. So that corner, that corner. I think that's enough. Just I'm playing. I can't ruin it, can I? I've got this little comb thing. So that just added a little something. Cool. Okay. Let's see what else we can do here. I've mixed up some blue. I wanted to do something with blue, and I want to make a different kind of a mark. And so I'm looking in my stuff, my junk drawer here. So yeah, you can see it does transfer pretty good. So this is like the triangles that I did a little earlier. I'm just going for trying to make lots of different directions. There's always going to be some repetition, but we want to try to make it as variety as possible. And because I've made this extra wide, I know I'm going to be going off the page. All right, so let me just put it down, have fun, make it random. Oh yeah. It's beginning to look like little creatures in the ocean. There you are on the other side of the camera, and you're looking at this and you're going like, "Ooh, do this, do this." I hope you'll do this because it's it's a fun way to create collage paper that is completely unique. Well, let's see. I think, and you know what? If I mess it up or I don't particularly like it, it's going to become a collage material anyway. So, you know, I don't think I'm liking this as much, but we'll just see. Maybe I'm just kind of turning it into blue paper. Maybe I'll just paint in between the ovals and maybe that's what I'll wind up doing is just painting between the ovals. Well, now it really looks like amoebas swimming around in a blue ocean or uh, not quite what I had in mind. I didn't know what I didn't have anything in mind. Let's be honest. Well, I grabbed a couple more sheets of this 8.5 by 14, and I think I'm just going to do something really, really simple. You're getting the idea. I just kind of want to make a few pieces and do a little bit of filming just to maybe inspire you to try it out, get something out. I did promise I would do something with ink, so I'll get to that. Let me go ahead and use up a little more of this acrylic paint. I'm just going to use the cardboard, the corrugated cardboard, and use it as a painting tool. This is what I want to do. I'm going to take another piece of that same cardboard. I want to put in some accent marks. So again, I'm just making it into a little, like a dauber. And I want to go in the other direction. Oh yeah, I like that. Now see, doesn't that works very well. Got to have a light touch here. Pay attention. Yeah, I am good with that. It's interesting. I like that sheet. I didn't like the amoebas so much, but I like that one. So I've tidied up a bit. I did want to share something about inking with scraps as masks. And so I went ahead and I got out a few more scraps, cleaned up that acrylic mess, and it was quite a mess. I made a couple more. So let me see. I really like the rusty hinge. I like rusty hinge very much. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the acrylic paint, but with the inks. And I haven't done it quite this way. I've used stencils and rubber stamps, but I've never done it quite this way. But no reason why you can't. Just got to hang on to everything. but scraps can definitely be used as masks. Why not? So I think I'm going to vary the colors here. I like the what have I got? I've got peeled paint. I have rusty hinge, peeled paint, and gathered twigs. So we can have some fun with all that. But I want to move these pieces around. I don't want these pieces to move around too much while I'm doing this. Well, this could be interesting. All right, so let me kind of hold off there. Let's see. I'm going to go on to gather twigs. You know, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's okay. Whoop. Yep, gotta hang on to the paper. Okay. Hang on to the paper. Yeah, it'd probably be helpful if these could be tacked down somehow. There are repositionable glue sticks where you can glue something, glue one of the backs of these pieces of paper, and and then just let it dry a little bit, and then you can put it on. I just thought of that. That's okay. I don't mind some inky fingers. Well, this is looking fun. I like how this is going. Now, these three colors look great together. Kind of cool how it's getting that. The brush mark is actually looking interesting. Let's make this easier to work on. I think I need one more little chunk of this. Let's see how we're going here. That's fun. I like it. I like it. Let's see. I'm going to see, I've got that orange kind of like just a splash in the middle. So I think what I'd like to do is just, sneak some in, a little bit here, a little bit there. Just kind of just a subtle little touch just to unify. Not that I necessarily will use this as one whole page, but I might. Well, yeah. So that's kind of fun. Okay. So it's another way of using some scraps, but use the repositionable glue stick to hold them in place. And this, I mean, I got a little bit inky fingers, but I still have some acrylic paint on me for that matter. That's kind of a cool page. Imagine that in a journal. That could be really neat. Let me see. This is Oxides, remember, and the page is not wrinkled yet, but I'm going to spritz a little Oxide on there and just see if I can get a little bit of a change here and there. Just see what happens. I'm still pretty new to the Oxide thing of how it works. Let me see, what else might I do? Well, this might mess it up completely, but I have a little bit of walnut stain that I thinned down. So what's the worst that could happen, right? Let me, well, let's try it. Ooh, well, it's not very dark. Let's see what happens. That kind of ties the whole thing together. I've got a little bit on there, so can pick up the little droplets. Ooh, that looks like it's going to turn out really cool. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. Let me show you what else I just did recently. This is all distress ink and stamping, stenciling and stamping. It's all distress ink. So as of this video, I have one set left of my crop circles, and then I've got just some miscellaneous ones left. So what I did was I used stencils. You can see the different stencils, but what I did was I just took a marker and kind of randomly outlined after taking the stencil away, just to create kind of an effect. And I did the orange with another stencil, and I kind of scrubbed one of the brushes with some darker of one of the browns. Might have been gathered twigs. Might have been, ooh, it might have been, oh, I can't think of it. It's, yeah, one of the browns anyway. And then I stamped over the top. I've used some of the rusty hinge and scorched timber. I think that's what I used. So you can see what I did here, just using stencils and everything. So that's not scraps, but this was another play by using stencils and distress oxide and rubber stamps, and then scrubbing the brush on it a little bit, and then spraying it with a little bit of water and just seeing what happened. So this was something I did last week. So I'm going to go check everything for dryness, and we'll take a look at the mess. We'll look at it all. Here they all are. So I'm finished for today, and all I did with this this funny little one is I brushed a wash of thin white paint on top, kind of toned it down a little bit, unified it in a different way. Anyway, so that's kind of fun and whimsical. We'll see what happens with it. And then this one, I gave it a wash of yellow ochre and used the smaller triangles as a mask in those. I don't know. I'm not real excited about that one. Hey, they can't all be good, right? This one's fine. It's very minimal. Minimal is good. And that one could become a journal page or whatever. And this one, what I originally did on it was a fail, and I had a lot of that blue paint. So I just went ahead and just painted it all out, and then I added some more of those kind of um, corrugated cardboard streaks. So that's a very useful sheet of paper. I like how this one came out. I like that textural look. I'm really happy with that one. That one worked well. I like this one very much. This one worked well. I seem to have a theme going. And this one I'm very pleased with. I liked how this one came out. I think I could pursue this more. And this was using scraps as masks, and this one also using scraps as masks. So these are the same as far as execution, the creation of them, but acrylic paint versus ink and spray, and very different appearance. I like both of these a lot. Those are my favorites. And then I definitely, we have some harmony going between all of these. So that is what I got done today. Yeah, and this one fits in very well with all of these. Well, that's one of the things about having a limited palette with acrylic paint is you're going to have a lot more harmony between your colors. But even so, this was with ink, and it goes very nicely too. So that was fine. I'd like to do some more with this. So this was all about scraps. So this is scrap materials used as a stamping or a painting tool. And these are scraps used as a mask. This one also, and this one also. So I hope that you got some ideas out of all of this. I'm going to still leave those as my favorites. And I thank you so much for being here and subscribing and watching. And I would love to hear your comments. So please let me know what you think. Which one's your favorite? All right. That's all I have for you today. Thank you. Bye bye.